Man, the 80s were a wild time to be a kid, especially if you were just consistently chased by a masked maniac named Jason Voorhees whenever you signed up to be a counselor at Camp Crystal Lake. Hey guys, I'm Brendan with the Leaderboard. Let's pack up some tents, grab some brewskis, and try not to die while we see what your Friday the 13th the game counselor says about you. There are 10 counselors in the game, so we're just gonna run down the whole list for you. Don't be late for archery practice. Adam Palomino. You are the coolest person in any room. You have a reasonably encyclopedic knowledge of Kurt Russell movies and are super proud of your record collection. Your #1 seduction method is to listen to Meet Is Murder and cry, and it works every time because of your dope collection of leather jackets. You might have had a bit of a rough childhood, but that only adds to your undeniable mystique. As does that copy of the Communist Manifesto that you have on hand at all times, just in case. I mean, capitalism is just an arbitrary governmental system imposed by the 1% to distract from political dissent, am I right? It's like they're duping us, man. You know what I mean? Also, did you happen to mention that you have Surfer Rosa on vinyl? Kim Deal signed it and everything. Defo a Capricorn. Brandon Bugsy Wilson. You might not be the best student in 4th period algebra, but that's okay because you're the star of the football team. Your left spiral is the envy of everybody else in your high school, even your other bros on the baseball team. Yo, speaking of them dugout buddies, life feels weird for you if you don't have a baseball bat in your hand. An ex once called you Bugs Lightyear, and it confused you at first, but you were also kinda into it? Bugs Lightyear to the rescue! You like going on dates to the movies, but you always kind of dread if it's a horror movie because secretly, they kind of spook you. You threw up when watching A Nightmare on Elm Street once, but you played it cool like it was just one too many Gatorades. Everybody totally bought it. For sure they bought it. For sure. You've been known to go steady with the preppy type, but secretly you're into the smarter, nerdy kids who don't talk as much. You may or may not have a thing for Debbie Kim because as of yet, you're unaware that she's an unhinged sociopath. Don't worry, I won't tell her. Yo, Debbie! Chad Kensington. To put things diplomatically, you're well-moneyed, and everyone knows it. I mean, it's kind of impossible not to. Some people might be kind of annoyed with how rich you are, but you rarely hear their complaints over the sound of your private yacht. You're not just about the money, though. You call your mom every weekend, and not just to ask for more funds in the account. She's a really sweet lady. Hey, Mom, what's going on? Oh, you were watching Downton Abbey again? Oh, that's cool, Mom, cool. You're also in charge of procuring the beverages when it's time for a Woodland Rager. You've definitely held up your hand and said, "Bless me, bro," and a brewski's just appeared in it. You know the truest meaning of a cold one with the boys, and don't get me wrong, you love your buds dearly, especially if they're in your frat freshman year. Sigma Kappa Phi! When Jason shows up, it's not totally unusual for you to go battle Chad, but if push comes to shove, you're taking the car loan. You know you are. I know you are. We all know you are. This is why we don't let you have the keys, Chad. Chad, come back! Stop being such an AJ Mason. You're not like the other kids at camp. Barbies, action figures, gender expectations? No thank you. You're down to party and pride people knowing you're smart over thinking you're attractive. People have described you as having a difficult personality, but realistically you just have opinions. They'll get over it. Fiercely loyal to your friends who also know that spending an obscene amount of money on hair dye and purple eyeliner is a very small price to pay for people to know that this is the real you. You probably went through an Avril Lavigne phase in middle school, but she's dead to you now. You come part and parcel with a prickly exterior for sure, but secretly you yearn for a Jack to your Sally. You definitely cried during Titanic, and it's deeply important that no one ever knows. Gemini and undisputed hide-and-seek champ 2017 has a live journal. Deborah Kim. Debbie to your friends and inner demons, you're the kid who sits in the middle of class so all your friends can cheat off your English final. They don't know the difference between a passive voice and a subjunctive. Plebs. No, but for real, you fix things a lot. Your friends come to you with all their problems all the time, and not just the academic ones. Boy trouble? I'm a good listener. Your car broke down? Yeah, I've changed oil before, I think. You need to get in the boat to escape a mass killer? Give me the propeller, give me the propeller, give me the propeller! Fixing. Oh wow, more fixing. What a shock. You guys need to take the car? Wow, no more seats, thanks. You like being thought of as useful, but the downside of this all is that it's honestly a lot of pressure. When the stress is just crushing in on you from every side, sometimes it can get to you. But don't worry, because there's another side of your personality that almost nobody knows about. Let's discover your agony together.
Ho ho ho, boy, Deborah Kim is here. You know what it's like to crush a man's throat between your hands. People might think you're sweet, but that's just because they don't know how many lives you snuffed out to satiate your bloodlust. That tingle down their spine is the animal hindbrain identifying an apex predator. Deborah Kim. Deborah Kim!
Secretly a twin and very passionate about knitting. Great with kids. Jenny Myers. People will often describe you as the girl next door. I'm not saying it's dead on, but you're like one can of hair dye away from a complete Mary Jane Watson cosplay, so it's not totes inaccurate. You own that though. It's not like you're a dull person, it's just that you'd prefer to not wake up with a hangover every day. Kinda team parent, you've been the designated driver for basically your whole life, but look, you're just trying to keep people safe here. It's a good thing you're on it too, because you do really well with blood-curdling panic. You've had maybe 2 serious relationships, but you don't really date around. Except for that one time at Chad's party, and we don't really talk about that because it's not like it really counts or anything. Tequila was involved, you're pretty sure this absolves you of any culpability. That being said, while members of the opposite sex would kill to have a shot at you, you're so not into high school drama. Sometimes you think that you should let your hair down a little, but you've got your sights set on better things, like college scholarships in the 2028 presidential race.
What, you really think Tiffany's getting into Princeton?
Vanessa Jones. If you're not staying up late studying to keep that GPA at an acceptable level, your friends can find you on the track. This is where you really live. People may say you're a little high intensity, but you and I both know that those are just all the 5-hour energies you chug to keep up with your lifestyle. That lifestyle, of course, mostly involves running. You're hoping to go Olympic one day, and hey, maybe you can. Shoot for those stars, Vanessa player. No one jukes better if you got a mass killer to juke. Just like that time in middle school when that guy tried to steal your wallet and you let him on a 40-minute foot chase. That was all you. That's what you're all about. Take pride in your physical prowess and know that at any given moment there are 2 to 4 dead counselors watching you lead this maniac on a wild goose chase. 8 minutes left, huh? Yep. That being said, you don't like it when people just pigeonhole you as the runner. There's a lot more to you, really. Like, you know, you're nice. Kenny Rydell. Kenny? Kenny who's... Oh, right, Kenny. Sorry, hey, dude, look, there's no nice way to say this. People forget who you are a lot. It might be because you main the character whose stats are literally just flat 5s across the board. It might be because you dress like you're going to a Pearl Jam concert, but, like, aren't that into the scene? It might be because you just always look like you're in the middle of a bad hallucinogenic trip, and that kind of weirds people out. I don't know, and honestly, I hate to be the one to break it to you, but you're the dude that people have to search for on Facebook to remember their last name. Filter by my high school, and K... E. You drew a lot of those cool S things in high school. Not because you like to, but because literally it was a thing that you, someone with human hands, could do. Your grades were totally average. Your teachers routinely waited for one of your classmates to talk to you so they could pretend they didn't forget your name. This might all sound negative, and it mostly is. But when you're at your lowest moment, I want you to remember this. Everyone is somebody's... Oh wait, who was that again? You're just that person a little more often than usual. Yeah, you, Wait, who was I talking about? All right, Kent Redmond. Kent. Wait, let me check Facebook really fast. Tiffany Cox. You were voted a lot of things in high school, the most prominent of which was biggest flirt. Yo, I'm a level with you, Tiffany Main. You got a reputation. It might not be accurate, but it's there. You can use this to your advantage, though. Maybe not everybody likes you for things you may or may not have done, but no one will forget you. And that's honestly kind of power, am I right? People learn an obscure musical instrument or change their hair to achieve that. You get it naturally. People notice when a Tiffany walks into the room, and not just because you tend to be the loudest. Those that don't know you might call this obnoxious, but the fact of the matter is that you know you're kind of a looker and you run with it. If people stare, hey, they stare. They should, all things considered. They had an interaction with a Tiffany after all. Write it in your blogs, kids. Tumble that! This all being said, you're not just about the looks. You love your friends and are a killer wingman. You know how to kiss and not tell. You're charming, but that's because you genuinely enjoy being around people. An extrovert for sure, Tiffany's are the life of the party. Unquestionably a Leo. Eric J.R Lachappa. Eric J.R. to your internet friends. Man, you know your way around a Dungeon Master's Guide. You don't even gotta look up those stats. It's off the top of your big noggin. You listen to a lot of Girls' Generation, and you definitely have a waifu or two. Actually, it's kind of awkward because you know that if Mikasa and Homoda ever met, oh man, it's gonna be a weird time. Don't let that happen though, for real. She controls time. People will stereotype you as the nerd, but that's because they don't know how cool that makes you. Who else do you know that has word-perfect recall of Ridley Scott's Legend starring Tom Cruise and something award-winning actor Tim Curry? Who else knows how to speedrun Majora's Mask in under 2 hours? No one, that's who. No one but my boy JR. You wear this cloak with pride. Lachappa! Honestly though, it may all sound trivial, but your knowledge of semi-useless garbage can come in way handy. You know every single horror movie trope, so you know that by all rights you're on borrowed time, and can plan ahead. Who's walking in the woods alone? Not you. Who's hooking up with somebody tonight? Also not you, but you swear that's for self-preservation first and foremost. Mikasa would be jealous anyway. When else do your smarts come in handy? When you win tens of thousands of dollars on Jeopardy by statistical fluke. Or when a crazed killer is right on everybody's tail and they gave you the fuse for some reason. Oh, he trapped it? Come on, every time! People will underestimate you, but truly, you are a wolf in geek's clothing. If you go aggro Lachappa, well then buddy, there's no holds barred. Show him your nerd rage. Lachappa! Tommy Jarvis. Go. Tommy, we need to talk. You're here to help, but my dude, you so rarely do. You're the adult trying to get into the McDonald's play place. When people talk about that guy, it's you. Gold medal in person I markered out of my yearbook. You hang out in graveyards a lot, which even if I'm being magnanimous here, I'd consider odd. You're conservatively mid-30s, literally waiting around all day for people half your age to call you just so you can come shoot a dude and then run away. Like, what's your deal, Tommy? What do you do on a Tuesday when no teens in trouble call you in to be the cavalry? Oh, X-Files is on! Oh, it's one of the Dogged episodes? Darn. So what are you best at? Well, you look like Eric Stoltz in Mask, so, that. Well, that about wraps us up. Once again, I'm Brendan, and thanks so much for watching what your Friday the 13th The Game Counselor says about you. Who do you main? What's your favorite thing about them?
Deborah Kim.
If you enjoy these videos, why don't you click on the bell icon to become part of the notification squad? And if you like getting more from your games, subscribe to the Leaderboard, where we help you game smarter.